Hello and welcome to this weather video. We got a lot to talk about with this storm. You could see a lot of advisories in effect. We're going to get to all of that in a moment. But first, we'll just talk about the past couple of days, which has been, especially yesterday, was beautiful, chilly but beautiful out. And yeah, I didn't. Normally I would have done the weather video last night, but I was in Jersey and just show you what it looked like over there. And just right off the bat, the pines just look so much more green, much healthier compared to the pines on Long Island. It's probably because they've gotten more rainfalls. The pines just look better, and even a little bit of fall color showing as well. And a little bit, you can see it looks pretty nice actually, and pretty nice dusk. Yesterday we had some clouds off to the south while I was in Jersey, but where I was there weren't too many. And today obviously plenty of clouds. Marine stratocumulus pretty much rolled in and was with us through into the night as well. So let's go and look at our satellite imagery from yesterday. So first, that's today's satellites. You can see the clouds kind of just rolled in. This morning it was clear, but the clouds kind of just came right in. Now yesterday, you could see there were some clouds off to the south where we were, but over Long Island it was fairly clear. But and where I was in Toms River was fairly clear. Though there were some in the morning. There were some clouds just off to the south, but other than that, they kind of mostly cleared out. So, yeah, let's go and look at the current satellite, and you can see again those clouds over us, and this storm that's off to the south. We'll just go over the weather for today. A high of 64 and a low of 40 degrees at Islip. That low is 9 degrees below normal, putting us 6 degrees below normal for the day. We go looking at yesterday. The high was 61. And the low was at 53, so that high was 6 degrees below normal. And we were just a degree below normal because of the low of 53, which was 3 degrees above normal at Islip yesterday. And right now, current conditions, it's pretty cool out. 61, the winds have shifted now to the south, so 61 degrees. And the dew point is 43. Dew point's still pretty low out there. Had dew points generally in the upper 40s, mid 40s. See the south winds. Looking at yesterday, again, the dew points were in the 30s yesterday and even 20s. We had dew points in the 20s, so going back to October the 9th, you could see that dew points were only in the 30s for the most of the day, and actually 20s for part of the day, so you're having sub-zero degree dew points. This was some pretty cool air that we had in place, and where I was in Jersey, so I was over here 53, 52 at Ocean County Airport. So look at yesterday here. Obviously, plenty of clouds. Yesterday, the dew points were a little bit higher there, maybe 30s. But that's mainly because they've had more rain. So let's get to that drought monitor first of all. So let's get to that drought monitor because Long Island has now been placed in a moderate drought. So we'll do that drought monitor. And I forgot to put it on the screen, but you'll see here that we now have a moderate. See that beige color there over much of Long Island except Nassau. We are now in a D1 moderate drought for Long Island. Where, however, if you're in Ocean County, you're just abnormally dry. And Toms River is really on the fringe of that. It actually is. If you go south of there, you're in none. So no drought concerns for that particular area. I mean, the lake levels were a little low, but not nearly as dry as you can tell. The ground on Long Island is much drier. In Jersey, you can tell there was more moisture in the ground, and that's where the trees are look better over there, obviously. So let's talk about this storm that we have now. We're going to go to the briefing from the Weather Service first of all on this coastal storm here. This was as of 4 p.m. So this is what their messages are saying. Widespread, moderate to locally major coastal flooding for the South Shore bays of Nassau and southwestern Suffolk County during times of high tide Sunday into Monday. Damaging winds also possible, mainly across eastern portions of NYC and Long Island Sunday into Sunday night. And there could be, again, the potential for a long-duration rainfall of 1.5 to 3 inches with the highest amount near the coast. Storm and gale conditions are possible as well. We're under a high wind watch. That's that shading right there. So northeast winds of 25 to 35 miles sustained with peak gusts up to 60, particularly for the immediate coast. Strongest winds from Sunday afternoon through Sunday night. and there could be power outages from those winds as well. This is their rainfall forecast. They could predict up to as much as 3 inches of rain, perhaps, which would definitely solve the drought situation. But we don't really want to have it like this. And you can see these are some of the areas that we could have flooding. And these are our colors. These are the areas that have the potential to see some flooding from this as well. Coastal flooding you can see on Long Island. So this is the briefing. I'll put the link to the briefing below. But you can see it's all these areas right here. Definitely Fire Island and Fire Island ferries. If we go to Fire Island ferries, and they have an alert right now. Service suspended Sunday afternoon and Monday due to nor'easter, because all trips after 1 p.m. on Sunday have been suspended because of that. And this also affects Sayville ferry service as well. So if we go over here, go to Sayville ferry service, they also have an alert. Nor'easter, they say last ferry on Sunday, October 12th, will depart Sayville at 11:30 a.m. So there will be service suspended on Monday, and ferry service expected to resume on Tuesday. So this is all because of this storm. All right, so let's take a larger look, and we'll show you what is where the storm is, first of all. So kind of show you, this is the area where it would be developing right here. It's not in any watch zone. We do have Tropical Storm Jerry, however, and we also have Post-Tropical Storm Karen. But we are watching this thing here. Obviously, no statement from the Hurricane Center on it. They're expecting this to be an extratropical storm because there is a stalled front in this area. If we go to the weather map, you'll see that there's a stalled front here as a low over Florida. So this is what's going to turn into our coastal storm right here. And then you have some other bits of energy over here and a cold front over the upper plains. Looking at the radar, you'll see here there's like a line of thunderstorms right now going through Toronto. But other than that, this is what is going to become the coastal storm right here. All right. So that is what we got right now. So we'll just show you the highs, the lows on the map. I'm not even going to go over the highs because they were, but the lows very remarkable here. Got pretty chilly in West Hampton. How about 30? That's below freezing. A lot of lows around 40 and 35 in the Pine Barrens west of west of Toms River there in Miller Air. Actually, no. What is that? Oh, that's 34 for a low at Ocean County Airport. 34 for a low over there. So pretty chilly morning. Like I said, this is a pretty nice, refreshing, great air mass that we've been in the past couple of days. You see highs made it a little bit warmer today, mid-60s. And the temperatures will be warmer tomorrow as the cold air kind of moves away. That high kind of moves away. So let's go to the models here, which, oddly enough, I had neglected to put on the screen. So let's go to it here. Just going to look at the surface here, features as that's where we're concerned about right now. Let me go to the eastern U.S. view, and we're going to first start with the GFS. So there's that high kind of moving away and allowing this coastal low here, developing coastal low, to move up the coast. And this is the 18Z run of the GFS here that we're looking at. You can see pretty intense coastal low. Gets pretty wrapped up. And the rain moves in Sunday, you can see here. And then the low kind of stalls out. And the GFS has the low stalling over, looks like the main part of it stalling over North Carolina. But you can see we're kind of stuck in a prolonged easterly flow. You can see, let's get my drawing tools out here. I think they're over here. So we're kind of stuck in this prolonged easterly flow. And that is a problem for the coast. You can see how tight those isobars are because we have that high, that strong high, which is now over the Canadian Maritimes, and this developing low right here. So that is the concern that we have for this storm here with these strong winds here. So, and you can see here that it kind of just sits here and lingers. Keeps raining into Monday, and then it finally pushes out Tuesday. So you could have 2 days of rain if the GFS was correct, of course. Let's go look at some other models. Let's go to the European now. This is the 18Z European. All right, so there's that high over there. And the 18, somebody said, I read somewhere that the 18Z kind of backed off on it. Yeah, it does. Here's the 18Z European. It kind of splits the storm, and we don't wind up seeing as much rain from it. We don't even see much rain at all on Sunday, and then it looks like we get into some on Monday with another low that kind of develops right off the coast and then moves away. So this is a total change from the earlier run. So if we look at the 12Z euro, actually, nope, the 12Z euro is showing this too. So, yeah, it looks like there's been a change on the euro that's picking up on. And if this is the case, Sundays winds up being mostly dry. The low kind of splits and shears because that is a stronger high. It kind of pushes it apart, and then another piece develops on Monday, and then we get into some rain on Monday. At least we're still getting into some rain, but we avoid the worst of the wind situation. But we still have a bit of a tight isobar gradient. So basically, the euro is saying the storm's going to be more on Monday instead of Sunday, and this is just developed, obviously, because if we looked at the earlier runs of the euro, it didn't do this. Like if we look at yesterday's run. Actually, no. Yeah, no, they all have been showing this, actually. Even yesterday's run showed it, too. So it shows it more of a Monday event now. So, yeah, this is a development here. And even the 0-0. So the euro has been consistently showing this, while the GFS is not. And honestly, I have a tendency to go with the European because I think it handles these storms much, much better than the other models do. So this is a trend on the European model, but we still have to look at short-range models. All right, but this is definitely a trend. So we're going to take it a little closer to the northeast view here, and you see there's the storm. So Sunday is not too bad, and the isobars don't even look that tight. But it's Monday now that we have to be concerned here. But the worst of the winds stay offshore, and so we could dodge a bullet here if the euro is correct. We get the rain that we need, and we get some rain out of it. Though it wouldn't be as much, but we get some rain out of it. But we dodge the bullet with the damage from the coastal storm. So this would keep the worst of the winds offshore. So if we go look at the winds here, you can see the worst of the winds are offshore and affect a smaller area, but still they'd affect more New England and the east end of Long Island with this particular scenario. And this is the European showing this. We're going to look at some of the short-range models and see if they've caught on to this at all. But with this particular setup, if we looked at the total accumulated rainfall that we would see from this, we would see, it would mainly be, we'd be less for western Long Island, but Suffolk County would still see at least a good part of Suffolk County, maybe an inch. All right, maybe closer to 2 inches on the east end. So this is kind of like where it's needed. Jersey, they have a drought there. They have a very minor. I don't even want to call it drought, just like a dry condition, but nothing. Like I said, Jersey. Again, if you look at the trees here, you see how much greener they are. Much greener, much more lush than the pines here on Long Island. That's because they've gotten more rainfall, so the pines are doing much better there, and that's why. Because they have less rain, and they've had the colors from the trees are just general better because they've had more rain. They're in much better shape there. Here, we definitely need rain. So let's go. I'm going to put this back over here. We're going to go and look at dew points and wind flow here, and I'm going to go over to the HRRR, and we're going to in a minute. But let's see why the euro is doing what it's doing. So you see the east winds there. Dew points. We have a lot of dry air in place, too, also, which kind of helps keep this system away from us. So that dry air kind of helps keep it away. And then you can see that dry air coming in on Tuesday. Lower dew points there. So this is the European, obviously, showing this. Only the European now, all right, is showing this, all right. Let's go look at the temperatures. So I have a tendency to believe the European at this point. So we going through tomorrow. You see, it definitely will be warmer, but there's still a lot of cool, dry air up there, and that acts as a wedge to kind of push this storm away. You can see what happens on Monday, where in a wedge, there's a real cold wedge of air that comes in. If this was winter, this might have been a snow event, but there's a real cold wedge of air that kind of comes in and kind of protects us a little bit. So this is what the European is showing. Now, I'm kind of curious to see. We're going to just back off a little bit here, go to the upper air, and see if there are any differences here with what the European is doing. So let's take a look at this. So this is the European. You can see there's the low. It just has a stronger ridge, I think. So if you look at that and then compare it to the GFS, nah, they're about the same. The shape of the trough's a little different, but I mean, yeah, let's go and look at the short range models. I guess that's what we're going to do. Go to the HRRR. All right, let's go and look at the HRRR first. All right, so this is the HRRR. All right, for tomorrow. It actually does develop some like little light showers. I don't know if we're going to actually see that in that. So the HRRR. Let's see what it's going to do with this storm. So here we are Sunday. It does bring the rain in, and it basically it's sticking with the G. It looks like it's trying to split it a little bit, but this is as far as we got on the HRRR. All right, but it does bring the rain in sometime Sunday afternoon. So the HRRR would definitely have a wave of rain there. And this is as far out as it goes. But if we look at the total accumulated precip by Sunday night, we could see close to an inch of rain if the HRRR was correct. And we look at the winds. It does have those strong winds. So the HRRR is saying we're still going to get this thing. Right? Because the 850 wind, by the way. And if we look at the HRRR and dew points, I could see probably why. Let's see. So, you can see the HRRR is trying to bring in more moisture a little quicker, but you still have that dry air suppression going on. So, that's something that has to be watched, obviously. Closely, I might add. So, tonight, obviously, our temperatures aren't going to drop as much, and tomorrow will be milder. And then, obviously, Sunday would tend to be kind of on the cool side with all the cloud cover and rain possible. All right, that's the HRRR. That's what the HRRR is showing. Go back to precip here, and hopefully now with most of the NAM in. So the 0Z NAM, we don't have most of it in. So let's see the NAM. Obviously, I think and hope tomorrow will be dry for the most part, but Sunday's the day. You can see the NAM sort of doing what the European is doing, kind of holding off the rain. Here we are Sunday afternoon, still not. Let's see if the 12 has come along a little more. So it does bring the rain in a little bit later. But you can see it's kind of doing that split again. It's kind of doing that split. And you can see it's got another low. It's like it has the low splitting into two centers, but there's still tight isobars over us. That's what the NAM is showing. All right. If we look at the total accumulated precip on the NAM, yeah, it doesn't really show through. This is through Monday morning. It's not showing a whole lot of rain. It would have so measly light rain, which isn't going to really accomplish anything, unfortunately. Let's go and look at the wind on here. Let's see how the winds look. The winds don't look terrible compared to what we were looking at before. So this is pretty much what we got with this storm right now. All right. Lastly, we go to the HDRPS, which definitely looks pretty bad. This is Sunday, but it has most of the wind off to the south, but it has a pretty strong low over there. Let's see about rainfall. This is 18Z. It still doesn't have the rain in yet. Doesn't have the rain in yet. It's again trying to bring it in, but here we are. This is as far as we got. So obviously I'm going to need another video tomorrow. Obviously we have to keep updated on this coastal storm that we are watching here. For sure. We're going to look at some other models now, other model sites. We'll first start with Vent2Sky, which uses the HRRR. So we'll start there. But I tend to think the Euro is onto something at this point. So we may get spared. I'm not saying we're not going to get it, but there's a possibility we may get spared. I'm kind of hoping we do. We don't need a big coastal storm. We do need rain, but we don't want to have a big coastal storm out of it for sure. So this is the HRRR for tomorrow. This is the Vent2Sky site. So I'm going to just first show you the clouds. Obviously tomorrow we will have pretty much fairly cloudy conditions, I think, throughout the day. The question is, are we going to have sucky drizzle or not? I'm really hoping we don't. The humidity's not high enough for it. We go up to 80%, maybe 80%, but there's a possibility there could be a sprinkle or two. But let's go look at, go back to this, go to the visibility here. Visibility. So it shows that it could be, these are like little showers possible. So it's possible there may be a sprinkle. I don't think we'll have a full-on shower. but it's possible. It definitely won't. It definitely won't be as dry as today. Probably. You can see the winds definitely picking up on the HRRR. So if we go to wind gusts tomorrow, you'll see the wind gusts at 20, gusting close to 20 miles an hour. Looking at sea, nothing terrible yet. But as we go into Sunday, this is when it starts picking up. And this is now, let's see, that's using the HRRR. Okay, so this is wind gusts. And you can see here, Sunday, here we are at 5 p.m. You can see the winds definitely picking up. These are the gusts, all right? These aren't sustained, but we're looking at gusts here. You can see especially Jersey Shore already seeing gusts closer to 40, 50 miles an hour. And as we go into Sunday night, it does tend to keep the worst of the winds offshore, but look at what's going on offshore at 9 o'clock. Winds gusting close to hurricane force, perhaps. And that's the icon. Actually, we're looking at the icon at this point. So we are looking at a different model here. And this is the HRRR. I'll just go to look at the HRRR. You can see these gusts offshore could be quite strong. So if we look at the ocean here, you'll see that we're dealing with waves up maybe close to 10 or 12 feet. And this could be very bad for the coast, all right, if this scenario happens. But let's now go and also I'll just go to visibility as well. Go by clouds visibility just for Sunday. And you can see there definitely is precipitation falling. This is the HRRR, so obviously seeing reduced visibility. Let's go over to windy.com, which is the European model. And we're going to go ahead and look at this now. So, and we're going to first start with visibility and clouds. So this is tomorrow. This is what the Euro looks like tomorrow. As you can see, clouds. I don't think we have drizzle. Hopefully not. But you can see this is the European. Also shows precipitation too, so you can kind of see. You can see that dry air trying to build in on Sunday, keeping the precipitation away, and actually not seeing any precipitation. Look at this. At 8 p.m., it tries to clear it up if you're a little bit off to the west. And then the second storm comes in on Monday. This is the second storm, and then we get to see that precipitation kind of come in to our area on Monday. And look at this. This is really weird. So 9 p.m., it's got it raining over Suffolk County, but nothing over Jersey. In fact, you might even have some sun. A little light rain. And then Tuesday tries to move it out of here, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. So I don't know if I believe that per se. But this is what the European is leading on right now. So we're going to have to see what this has. That's all we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see. All right. So let's go and look at the waves. Let's go ahead and look at the wave. We'll go to the wind. I'm going to go to the wind right now. All right. These are just the sustained winds here. All right. So this is again the European. Sunday, you can see it's still going to be windy, and we're still seeing those coastal impacts here. 35 mile an hour sustained winds offshore. All right. It's nothing to sneeze at. All right. And if you're inland, the winds aren't so bad, but at the coast, there's going to be some big impacts. All right. I'm going to wind gusts now. And you can see the gusts offshore. It's 47 miles an hour. So this is going to generate some waves. And you can see what happens here. So this is the second storm getting going here Sunday night. And you can see the winds pick up. But the worst of the winds stay further away. So we still have some gusts close to 50 offshore with more of a northeast wind. But the worst gusts, this is Monday, are way off near the center. So 73, that's pretty bad. But it's further away. I'm really hoping the European is onto something here. But you can see how the storm kind of backs up a little bit. So some of those stronger winds get to the eastern end of Long Island on Monday. You can see them trying to, and then it kind of just reverses back. So it all depends. The Euro is saying this high is stronger. It's going to protect us from the worst of the storm. They're going to have to see. So let me just show you the wave. The ocean. Let me find that. Here we go. So we're going to Sunday, and you can see the ocean definitely picked up. Now tomorrow you'll probably be tomorrow won't be too bad, but Sunday you definitely see the ocean's definitely getting rough. So we've got 11-foot waves, 11-foot waves over there. All right, for Sunday. All right, and then as we get into Monday, it gets worse. There will be beach erosion. There will be coastal flooding. I don't think there's any way we're not going to see any of that. All right. It's a question of how bad it's going to be. All right. With this track here Monday, you can see that the worst waves are still 13 feet. That's still bad. But the worst of the storm offshore, you're dealing with 20-foot waves. So this is the worst part of it, staying away for the most part. But the waves are going to be up there. And this is going to have to be watched, obviously, very closely. So I'll be back tomorrow night with another update on the storm, and see. Hopefully the Euro is onto something and we dodge the bullet with the worst of this storm. Hopefully, I'm really hoping we do. We need the rain, but we don't need. And I know that there will be less rain, obviously, with the Euro solution. But honestly, it's not getting some rain is not worth the damage that a major coastal storm would cause. So that is all. Have a good night. Thank you for watching.